are too serious for my life. Hey, what's happening here? Because I might dress appropriately for your interview. I'm like, eh?
Umetuma wazazi wako waje wanieleze. Umetuma wazazi wako waje wanieleze.
Hello everybody. My name is Bien Alusa Baraza and you're watching Singleton Stories with Biko Zulu.
Waje waniambie ndo watumeivunja.
I think I started feeling that I'm great when I was very young in my life. I've always known that I was going to be like somebody. I think when I was like maybe 6 years old, I have a cousin called Sauti and a bunch of other like cousins of mine. I said to them, "What do you mean that was superstar?" And they all burst out laughing. I mean, we laugh about it to this day. I love them to death. But I think I knew I had a calling for something in my life very early. And I've always been trying to channel that energy. Sometimes I haven't felt as great, you know? Sometimes I've just felt like I'm just meh. But sometimes I feel really great. Like I think I'm in a season in my life now where I'm writing more music than I ever wrote. I'm the greatest version of me right now. I think 4 years ago, that'll be 2017, around January, we were invited to play in Goma, in Congo. None of us had been to Congo, and everything we had about Goma, like the first thing I did is Google Goma. And there'd been a skirmish there, like not too long ago from the time we'd been invited. So we ended up just agreeing to go for the show because, it's an experience, and it's always lovely just going out with the boys to new territory. It feels like conquest. To go to Goma, you have to first of all fly to Rwanda, and then you take a bus. I think it takes 3 hours from Kigali to the border, Gisenyi. When you get to the border, you can clearly tell the difference of the Goma side and the Rwanda side. The Rwanda side is like proper polish and everything, and then the other side now, which is Congo, just looks like the wild, wild west. Like it's chaos. It's people holding bundles of money, like ready to switch you up your dollars. And it was raining. We got to Goma at around 7 o'clock in the evening, and we crossed the border. And then we went to a very, I would say not to like a 2-star hotel, but the energy and the vibe just felt right. Like I didn't feel like I need to be in a 5-star hotel now. No, like we're in a 2-star hotel for the night. The show was on a Sunday, and we got to the venue, and I was like, the entire time I was in Goma, like I didn't feel I didn't feel people coming to ask for autographs. I didn't feel like there was a hype about Sauti Sol. Like people were recognizing us here and there, but it wasn't really pandemonium until we got to the venue. The venue was like a stadium, like an African version of what a stadium is. Basically like a football field. It was huge. We were playing at the Amani Festival. The Amani Festival is a peace festival that happens there once a year. It was all this uncertainty, and then also we weren't very sure about the gear, because all that gear came from Rwanda. We were to do a sound check the night before, but it didn't quite work out. So on the day of the show, we had to do a line check. It was raining, and now there was like 15,000 people, and they were just singing Sauti Sol songs at the top of their lungs. And now, at that time, we were backstage, and we were freaking out because we were like, I was anxious because I was like, I really hope I get to play to these guys and they don't because the sound check would take forever. It took like a good 30 minutes, and 30 minutes in my world at that time is anything between 2 and 3 hours. So we did the line check, and it was time to go on stage. And we walked up on stage. It was 20,000 people at that time. And they were all in like a frenzy. And I didn't realize how far our music had traveled. Like this music goes into rooms before us. This music goes before us to clear the ways so that when we come, it's, it's that. It's 20,000 people who are hungry for music. We got on stage. Savara, for that trip, you guys, had broken his ankle. And so Savara went for the entire trip in crutches. He performed sitting on we asked them to bring a stool where he could sit and perform like a stool like this, like a high stool. And they brought him a couch. So Savara was sitting like a pimp boss in the middle of the stage. And the show began. That show is the biggest emotional trip any Sauti Soul member has been through. The spirit of that place made us understand who we are in this world in terms of our purpose also. Like when you're on stage, your job is not to just sing hits. Your job is to give a certain energy. And so it's an energy exchange between you and the fans. I often say as a musician, we are vessels who just channel our ancestors' energy and nature's energy, and we channel it to the people. The only thing we ask for in return is for people to channel that energy and give us love. Any musician who is loved is happy. It's simple. It's as simple as any other art. And that day, people were singing at the top of their lungs. People were crying, a little bit of Michael Jackson here and there, like people fainting, The euphoria is still, with you. I close my eyes, I'm seeing the people. We ended the set with Kuliko Jana, and it had me in tears. And I was super emotional, but I felt like, hey, now I'm back to being bien. And that was Goma. For me, it's been easy because I'm in a group, and being in a group really grounds you. My relationship with my brothers has nothing to do with my star or star quality or anything like that. Like, they're just my friends. Savara, Chimano, and myself met in high school. So this is something that, to us, is still a funky. I feel like we're going to a girls' school to perform, and it's never changed. It's fun, and it keeps us grounded, like that we're together. We call each other out on our bullshit sometimes. We have those moments, but I think being in a band really grounds me. And by virtue that my mom still calls me to just tell me she's gonna slap me when she sees me next. My brother is also there as my support system. I have a wife who's amazing. And all these people just ground me. They make me a better, they make me use my fame for good. It has to be about marriage. Yeah, it has to be about marriage. He was one of the guys who was really pressuring me to get married because he just felt like, of all his kids, I was the last, and I was just it wasn't in my plans, I had this phenomenal chick, and he was always calling me and telling me, when I was about to get married, so from his, in his words, when my father wanted to get married, he spoke to my granddad. And my granddad said to him, he asked him, how do you know you're ready to get married? And my grandfather was like, you take a huge, karai or bucket, and you're gonna fill it with money. And when the bucket is full of money, get married. To mean that bucket is never gonna fill up with money. You're always gonna have stuff to do with money, and you're never gonna be ready. So just do it. That's one of them. Other conversations with my dad are mostly around money, music. My father is a very, avid Rumba fan. So me and him can talk about music for a long time. And I think the thing that really stuck with me the most in everything he has ever said to me is, take your time, but don't waste your time. Use your time wisely on this earth. You know, there's only a certain number of hours you have in a day. Make them count. Surviving in marriage as an artist. I don't know, man. I'm 1 year married, and I'm still trying to understand the concept of monogamy. It is such a foreign concept to me how you would expect somebody to give their lives to you for the rest of your lives together. Now, don't get me wrong. For some people it works, for some people it doesn't. And then, for me as an artist and for other musicians, or just people who have startups, you know, like a startup is the same thing as art in the sense that the bearer of the vision is someone who is obsessed on their work. And people who have an obsession on their work have a very difficult time making time for anything else but their work. But nothing prepared me to be with my wife. Like, she's so different from anybody I ever dated. Like, I've never met anybody so driven, so woke, so heartful, so thoughtful, beautiful within and without. She's amazing. She's an amazing woman. Nothing could prepare me for her. I'm still trying to figure out the manual.
Every girl deserves to feel like a star, and I know you are, I know you are. Every girl deserves to feel like a star, yeah. And I know you are, I know you are. Yes, I knew you are.
I just think that the greater thing here is the awareness of when you're doing it for commercial purposes and when you're doing it for art. Like, as an artist, are you aware of those two things and the boundary? And beautiful art is a mix of both, you know? I wouldn't consider myself like a deep jazz artist. But, you know, the good pop things with good chords and the simplicity of life also, you know, people like commercial songs too. Commercial songs are, commercial art is commercial art for the sole for mass consumption. So if we had something that was a fast-moving consumer good, it would be like a money lover. Do you love me, baby? Do you love my money? Unanipenda, baby. That song has just been written to be played in the club, to be radio friendly, and, you know, to do its job like that. Sura Yako is a nice commercial hit. It's on the tempo of the time. It's perfect for weddings. You know, you're thinking about all of these things in the back of your head. Like, what's the commercial value of this song? It's perfect for the time. It's a love song. People love love. It's perfect for weddings. Then it just becomes deliberate how you make music. But our last album, Midnight Train, I said, was not written for commercial success. Yeah, it was written for a different purpose that even, like, the pandemic was a listening season. And I don't think I've ever connected with we've ever connected with our audience through our art more than we have with Midnight Train. You can feel the evolution in the writing. There's also an element of quality that has come with, you know, with age. I feel like right now I'm the musician that I dreamt to be, in terms of just where I'm at in my mental, like, psyche, and with my ability to write right now and my energy. Great happiness has to be my early Sauti Soul years. Because, you know, at that point, it wasn't that serious. And the innocence of life and the naive Bien from Rongai, going into all these new places and music taking us all to new territories, making us meet new people. I really, like, look back at those times. I call them the simpler times. You know, they're beautiful. But do I want to go back there? Hell no. Okay? I was broke as hell. I don't want to be that person right now. You know, I like it where I am now also. Like, I think I'm also happy. I consider myself a happy human being. There's moments like we won 2 MTV awards, one like a global one. But you know, anyone can win an MTV award. But hey, Dancing with Obama was like, checking me trying to smell his cologne. You know, but that was a moment. That was really a moment. Yeah. That taught me many things as well. You know, like when we got into the room and we were just about to perform, I asked Bruce Odhiambo, yo, Bruce, how am I going to get to shake this guy's hand or even just like stand next to him, get a picture with him? He was like, yo, when you have the mic, you have the power. So like immediately we started singing and we were just about to do Surayako. We started walking across the hall. And I asked him, yo, are you going to dance with us? And he was so graceful to, you know, stand up, and Uhuru stood up and, Uhuru stood up. And the president of Kenya stood up. And Her Excellency, the First Lady, stood up. And we made a moment. That felt like I had made it. You know, maybe right now, people are just like, but me, that was my moment. If I was an animal, what would I be? A rooster. Yeah. Duh. What a rooster means to the home in Luya culture is just security, stability, positive masculinity, and just a general sense of, you know, belonging. So, why not? Oh, the Rumba Japani chorus. Hapa ni wapi? Tumezungukwa na shisha na shashamani, mapochopocho na vinywaji mbalimbali, wengine wanatapika wakizirai. Oh jaja, hapa ni wapi? Wanatutwanga mapicha kipaparazi, tumezungukwa na warembo geti kali, tunazitoka na staili za kizamani. Rumba Japan. Rumba Japan was inspired by a moment in our lives when we used to rehearse at Alliance Française. Sometimes it would rain, like today. And when it rains, the bus fare is 3 times the price. So as we wait for rain to subside and the bus fare to go down, we used to go to a place called Seamas. Seamas used to be in the CBD, opposite 680 Hotel. It was the craziest environment ever. Like, there were hookers, there were money launderers, there were people who are dealing currency there. Like, if you want to change dollars, you go to Seamas. They change dollars for you. There were drug dealers. It was just the wild, wild, wild. Not even West, wild, wild, wild. There's a band that used to play there called Rumba Japan. That band was stereo, like Congolese guys. Sometimes the cops used to come into Seamas and all the guys in the band used to dash because they don't have papers. But that band was heavy. Rumba Japan was an amazing band. I loved it. And what the song is like paying homage to Rumba Japan themselves. You know, kuna rumba ya wapi, kuna rumba ya wapi, kuna rumba for all you niggas. Lakini rumba Japani, ndio rumba. You know, like, and then hapa ni wapi, tumezungukwa na shisha na shashamani is like, hey, that describes what Seamas was, the choruses especially. Tumezungukwa na mabouncer kama chwani, kuna mapedi, mapoko pia mapinji. And that was exactly what Seamas was. It's so sad they brought it down, man. It's now, I think, a parking lot. They killed the culture. I felt, okay, there's moments when I felt like I failed, but I'm learning. You see, I also don't look at failure like that. Because I think the idea of failure is just an attitude. Especially now that KCSE results are out and people are really like losing it. Because we are obsessed with kids like passing. Like, if I was to talk to myself when I was 18 years old, when I received my results, it doesn't mean anything. Like, every day is a blank canvas for you to paint life differently. So fail. It's okay to fail. There's moments when I feel like I've failed, especially for the artists in Soul Generation. You know, like we've put our blood, sweat, and tears there, and sometimes I'm seeing our artists not being able to achieve something or a certain like target we've placed number-wise, numerically, and I kind of feel like I failed. You know, I feel like I failed them for not being able to give them the best home. My artist is like my first experience at parenthood. And when I look at Mviri and Bensoul, like, I hope I don't fail them. I hope I give them the best. I hope they do the best music. I hope they get the best budget for the videos. Like, I just hope it works out for them. I don't want to fail at that. I feel like you're my therapist and I'm like, trying to and I'm trying to defend my drinking ways. But yeah, man, drinking is just for that. Get out of your body a little bit. Dance. Be a child. You know.